Hello, happy Wednesday. Thank you for joining me here tonight. My name is Alyssa Thomas from Penguin and Fish, where we make lovely and quirky hand embroidery kits. And I am here every weeknight at 8:30 p.m. Central Time. It's a time where we can relax and craft together here for about an hour, and I work through projects from beginning to end so you guys can be part of the process and work on them with me and just come and chit chat. So you guys, we are going to continue the Quilt As You Go quilt that we're working on. This is the Splendid Sampler 2. And here we are, you guys. We are starting to attach, these are fully quilted squares. We are now attaching them to each other. And we have all of this done. So these two here, this grouping of 4, that's what we did last night. So it's coming along. We almost have a full row of quilted, like a full row of our quilted blocks here. So here's the back. All the fun quilting. So when we're done with this, when we're done with all 5 rows, so this is just row 1. We have 5 more chunks like this to do and put together. But once we're done with all those, we don't have to quilt anymore. We don't have to sandwich our quilt together, nothing. It'll be done. We just have to throw a binding on and that will be that. So tonight we are gonna add the last row, the last block of 4 to this row. So we have like basically one complete row. I'm super excited. It feels like we're just getting stuff done, which is awesome. With this way tonight though, so last night we put this sashing on. This is our connecting strip for the Quilt As You Go. So be sure to watch last night's too, because we talked about that. So here's the back, that connective binding. We hand stitched this, so you can kind of see, you can see all the little hand stitch marks there. Tonight, we're going to machine stitch it on instead of hand stitching, because I know some of you guys have told me that you have trouble with hand stitching, and that kind of threw the whole project for you. So we are going to machine do it, so you can do it with your normal sewing machine as well. And that's the plan for tonight, you guys. So I'm going to flip you around, and we have to pick which block to put on the end here, and then we'll get it going. All right, here we are. So this is the last block that we put on yesterday. We're doing them in blocks of 4 like this. So the next one will go here. And we have some options. So we have 3 left that we have finished. I'm going to get a little higher for you guys. These are all our Splendid Sampler 2 blocks. So I do have an opinion right away. I don't want to put this one here because I think this is a lot of blue right next to each other. I'm only adding bright colors every 5 blocks or so that I do. So I want them kind of interspersed between the quilt, and having 2 dark blue ones this close, I think is out. Like I'd rather have this somewhere else in the quilt. So I'm gonna put that one to the side, and then that leaves us with 2. So we can pick from here. We either have this guy, this is the one with the little fun pineapple. That might be cute. Cute one to do here. Then the pineapple would, if we keep it, if this ends up being the top row, then the pineapple would be in the top, which I think is kind of fun. Have this textured pineapple right there. Otherwise, we have the sweet little kitty one with the bowl, and oh man, that one's cute too. I suppose it doesn't matter either or. This is a lot of color going on. This is a lot of white. I'm just trying to see, like, compared to the rest of the quilt, how it look. Honestly, it's really not going to matter. I think let's just, because this is the first one that I grabbed, let's go with this and be done with it. So this will be, these are both of our poofy ones, but we'll probably do more variety throughout the rest of the quilt too. So, all right, you guys. What I'm referring to is I did different batting in several of these pieces. And so yeah, here we have a thin batting next to a thick batting, and this is also another thick batting, but I think I kind of like it. So we're gonna do these 2. All right, so we have to connect these 2, and how we did that again is we cut we cut our back piece. We cut these yesterday, so be sure to watch yesterday's video. We have our back piece. My blocks are 13 inches tall, so we're cutting our strips to 13 inches. For the back, this is that back strip that will bind our blocks together here. That will be cut to 1.5 inches, 1.5 by the 13, or however tall your blocks are. You can do quilt as you go with whatever size you want, but however tall your blocks are, and then 1.5 inches. And then for the front sashing, the front piece, I'm mimicking my sashing here. So I need to make basically another 13-inch piece here, but I'm going to do it by first sewing together 2 strips, and let's grab a little cornerstone piece and a cornerstone. So there we go, that fun blue one there. So when I sew this together, then we'll have a 13-inch piece there. So all right, that is the plan tonight. I think we'll sew these together first, and then we have to press them. And while we're pressing things, we also have to press this guy. Remember, we're folding it in half the long way and pressing it. If you're using a pattern fabric with the right sides out. So the good side is going to be exposed at the end there. So all right, let's get going tonight. I think we are going to get this done really quick here tonight. Just that machine stitching is going to really scooch things along for sure. Yeah, let's not do math again tonight. Sounds like a plan. All right, here we are. So I'm extra tired tonight, you guys. This is day 1 of me going to the YMCA again. Today I did some lap swimming at the Y, and I was on swim team in high school. But that was probably the last time I did any lap swimming, and that was like 20 years ago. So it was pretty exhausting. I'd have to stop after almost every lap and everything, but oh, it felt really good. I specifically wanted to do swimming again just because I'm hunched over a lot at the computer, and I think swimming is good for, you know, strengthening your upper back and stuff. So I already feel like my shoulders are pulled back a little bit, but man, I'm gonna sleep good tonight because I am just so tired. And I'm not even like sleepy tired, I'm just exhausted. But it's fun. I haven't felt like that in a while. All right, so that's it for the first piece. I have my fun little, my little leaders. If you haven't seen these, I am using actual squares for my leaders, and I'm sewing them so I'll end up with a bunch of half square triangles. Where do you get swim caps? So you guys, I had to buy everything. So I didn't have a swimsuit for working out or anything. So I just did some searching online, and I ended up at this place called, I think it's called just Swim Outlet or something, swimoutlet.com, and they have a lot of workout style swimsuits, which is awesome. I think a lot of swim teams might. It seems like they cater to swim teams and stuff, and so I was able to get a few swimsuits there. I had to like do my measurements and all that, and they have a return policy though, which is good. So you know, I was able to try on a few things, and two I bought 4 swimsuits, and 2 of them I'm definitely going to return because that was what my assumption. I was like, okay, I will try, because they're weird sizing. It's like 32, 34, 28. They're like, you know, wackadoodle sizing. So I got a few just to see what fit and what didn't. And I tried, they have all different brands on there too. So I tried 4 different brands and different sizes. And my two favorite were actually the two cheapest swimsuits, thank God. So the two that didn't fit, I'm gonna return and get more of the kind that do fit. So I'm pretty happy about that. And they also had goggles and swim caps, really cute swim caps too. Some traditional ones, but some really cute ones. So I got a couple of those there. And yep, a few goggles. So goggles and swimsuits and swim caps came in the mail yesterday. That's why I had to wait. I couldn't get the gym membership until today. Today had to be the first day because my swimsuits weren't going to get here till yesterday. But yeah, it was really fun. I'm going to try and do it every day. I forgot how wide the front piece is with the corner piece. Oh yes, I think I forgot to tell you guys. So the front piece is 1 inch wide. And that's because, you know, you lose a 1/4 inch for the seam allowance, and then you end up with a 1/2 inch, and that 1/2 inch is going to cover up the 1/4 inch seam allowance on either side of our block. So that's why it's specifically 1 inch wide. And then here is the 1.5 inch for the back to make this little fun binding strip. Goggles are must spray your hair first. Oh, with water. Oh, that's interesting. Spray your hair with water first. Prevents chlorine buildup. I'll have to remember that. Yeah, I am definitely out of the loop on all the swimming stuff. It's been ages and ages. All right, back to it, you guys. So what we do first is we need to sew right sides together. This to one of our strips, or one of our blocks. I'm doing the left block. And then we also are sewing this at the same time, the binding strip at the same time. So we will have a bunch of layers that we're sewing together all at once. You want to make sure that the raw edge, the two edges here are the side that you sew, you know, that are lined up with the rest of the raw edges. You want that nice folded edge to be on the inside. So I'm going to pin this. I'm actually going to clip it with Wonder Clips, because you know this would be really difficult to sew together all these layers and not have them move around if they weren't being held with something. So feel free to pin. I am going to use, I got some loose ones. I'm going to use a pile of my Wonder Clips here. And I'm going to do the same thing I did last night. I'm going to do the middle first just so I can kind of line up that little cornerstone with the sashing so it's not super duper way off, and I'm going to just clip that to get it going here. Oh, Lucy, you used to do triathlons? Dang! Oh, swimming was not your best sport. I think the running and the biking I would die at, but the swimming I'm probably okay with. Okay, so I'm putting all of these at the top. And I'm going to just clamp that together real quick. And then I'm going to jump to the middle here, I think, where I have that clip already. Just clip that. And all right, let's work on this one. So I think I'm just going to clip it once. I think yesterday, because it's bulky, there was a lot going on, I put 2 clips here, but I'm going to see if I can just do it with 1. Let's make sure it's all lined up, though. Okie doke. And then the bottom. All right, and there we are. Line up the edges, clamp. And I'll put another one right in the middle here again. But I think I'll lay it flat because I think my top one is moving around a bit. All right, there we go. So now we're going to sew along the edge here, and that will get all of these 3 layers. It's actually way more than 3 layers because, you know, we got the front, middle, and back of the quilt, and then the 2 layers of this fabric. It's a whole pile of layers, but we're going to sew that first, and then we'll worry about attaching it to our next block here. Okay, here we go. got a leader on there already, but I'm gonna have to get another one in this process, I think. Right, this is really rather fat, so I am gonna kind of lift this up to get it going here. Get the leader in there. Oh, yep, it's on. There we go. So I'm just making sure that those edges stay lined up. Oh, Pam, I'm happy you're here, but sorry to hear that. Ugh. All right, underneath there, here's our little cornerstone piece. You don't have to do this whole cornerstone thing. You could just use a strip that's as long as your block, but I'm just trying to mimic the sashing that we put in the middle here. All right, almost there. You guys, this is gonna go so fast tonight. We'll be doing that machine stitching the binding, and that's gonna make us fly through here. All right, I gotta get a new leader out. Man, like I said, our Finish It Friday is gonna have to be sewing together these leaders, or like trimming them into the half square triangles, and starting to sew them together, because my bin here that I have a bin right by me here with a whole pile of these cut out. Here, I'll show you guys. It's just hanging right there. But I can just grab these squares as I go, but I'm just tossing the finished ones back in there, and those ones are getting everywhere. I suppose I could just throw them at the bottom. Oops. I usually do it this way, I think. Hello, Lisa. All right. Right sides together. Let's sew us some half square triangles. Makes me so happy that the project is actually going to come out of my leaders here. I just think that's so silly and fun. Like here's a finished one. So we've sewn on either side. We'll cut it down the middle, and that will leave us with two sets, or one set, I suppose. Well, two sets of half square triangles. Ooh, look, this is exactly along that dotted green line there. All right. Next up, all right, back up top. So this is what we should have now. We have our front piece. If we fold it back here, oh, we lined up those lines really well tonight. Last night's were kind of all over the place. This is right lined up, so that's looking good. Happy about that. I'm going to just kind of finger press the top out. There we go. Just like that. I'm going to leave the back piece where it is. So here's that little binding strip. I'm going to leave that there. It's going to just hang out while we work on the next part. So next up, we are going to take our next piece here, and we are going to sew it right sides together with this strip. So we're just going on the other side like this. So when we're done, we will have we'll have these two pieces connected by only this strip, nothing else, not the back, not anything, just this strip. And I'm actually going to flip it. I think it's a little bit easier to sew in this direction. I'm going to match up that middle piece. So hopefully we get the sashing to line up again on this side too. That'd be pretty cool. All right, let's clip that. And now we have lots less layers to deal with, so hopefully this is easier to just clip real quick. All right, let's get in. Where's the edge? Oh, there we are. Get in the middle there. Okay, and then I always like lining up the bottom, and then we'll even out the middle. And the center. Okay, so we're gonna sew down that edge 1/4 inch as well. We're not top stitching yet, Gretchen. We gotta attach them both first. All right. So that 1/4 inch again. So tomorrow is Thursday, which means new block Thursday. But what we might end up doing, since I have 2 more of these blocks, we might just finish up this quilt as you go. So we'll sew those 2 blocks together. That will be the first 2 blocks of the next row. So we'll just get that done. I'm feeling like I need to finish a step before moving on. But after that, then we're back to making blocks, and we'll pick one of the new blocks and work on that on Friday probably. All right, I gotta get another leader out. Bear with me here a sec. It's a little extra step, but it doesn't take that long. And I get excited about it every time I make a new one of these. Making 2 quilts at once. Okay. Snip that. Get this piece. Yeah, there are not many new blocks left. You're right, Dawn. However, for me, there are a bajillion new blocks to do yet because I am not that far at all. All right. Oh gosh, the mini Wonder Clips. They're so good. I just love, love, love them. All right, you guys. So at this point, here we are. Here is our connecting strip. So that we are fully connected. I have 5 sections connected here. So a first row is all connected. The last thing we have to do is we have to cover, we're basically making a flap. I should call this a flap instead of a binding, I think. So we're gonna call this the back flap. So the back flap, we did that because that's what's gonna cover up our seam allowances from our 2 quilt pieces. So all we're gonna do is we're gonna flip this over and sew it down. So yesterday, like I was saying, yesterday we hand stitched it down. This is the one from yesterday. Today we're gonna machine stitch it. So I'm gonna grab some pins. Let's try these new ones. These are those new ones that have those silicone tops on it. Give those a try. All right, they can go here. So all we're gonna do, I'm gonna just kind of start at the middle. I'm gonna fold it over. What I want to shoot for too is I'm gonna get you guys get a little bit closer here. You can see our sewing line here. That's from when we sewed the sashing on just now, the front piece. I'm kind of gonna try and get the fold to cover that up. So I'm gonna kind of pull it over so it's covered there. And then let's throw a pin in. And I probably won't cover it all the way. It's probably going to just end up being where it's going to be. Ooh, going through a lot here. Gosh, it's been forever since I've used pins. I think I'm already bending these, you guys. All right, and then I'm just going to go down the line here, I think. And this might take a lot of pins. I'm gonna overpin, I think. Oh, come on. Yeah, back flap's kind of funny. Trying to avoid back flap. All right, so what we're basically doing instead is I'm gonna sew like a 1/16 of an inch in or so, just along this edge. So it is gonna look different. It's not gonna be as hidden as, I mean, this isn't exactly hidden either. This is my hand stitching. It's not gonna be quite as hidden as that. You will see a seam. You'll also see a seam on this side. So that's the difference with machine stitching this together. But luckily, it's just going to look like more quilting, I think. So we will get a stitched line in here. If you do this method, the machine sewing method, you might want to think about doing the flap on the front. So instead of doing the 1-inch piece on the front, do the 1-inch piece on the back and connect the two backs first. And then do the 1.5, you know, that flap. Do that on the front, because then when you pull it over like this, you'll be able to sew down the front line really well, and it'll look really nice on the front. And then, you know, who cares where the line falls when it's on the back? You know what I mean? So you might want to flip those around. But you can do it this way too. We'll see what it looks like. My thread actually probably matches the front a whole lot better than the back. So you might actually see it more on this side than the other. All right, I'm gonna just, we'll probably throw 2 more pins. It wants to pull back. It wants to, you know, I'm probably making it go a little bit farther than it wants to. So I'm gonna just keep pin away. So we'll get one last one here, and then I gotta go up the other edge. Oh, you will see it from the front. You'll absolutely see it from the front, Gretchen. So that's the difference between hand stitching it and machine stitching it. You will see the stitch line from the front. But again, it probably will blend in with everything. So, oh yeah, you know what? I probably could press this. That's a good idea, Carol. I could press this. I could have pressed this to start out with. But, oh well, I'm just going to keep going now. You're right, though. That would have helped. For some reason, I don't think about pressing once I have quilted pieces. I think I would just have the idea that I'm going to squish all my quilting, but I don't think that makes much sense. That's not going to flatten at all. So yeah, definitely go ahead and press this. What I'm struggling with mostly is getting it all the way over to that sewn line, just because that's what I'm trying to cover up. Oh yeah, so that's the idea. If you sewed in the front, like what if I flipped this around and sewed in the front seam? You could do that. I'm not going to do that just because I want to make sure that I catch this flap. So this is hardly, so here's my front seam, right? That's the seam I'm trying to cover up. I would have to really make sure that I'm covering that up and sew in the exact seam to make sure I catch this. You could do that. You definitely could do that. But you might want to err on the side of maybe when you sew on your flap, maybe do a little bit more of a scant 1/4 inch than what I did, so you have more to fold over here. And then if you go beyond your stitch line and you're confident that you're beyond your stitch line, then yeah, you could go onto the front of your piece and then just see, or just stitch in the stitch right over that other line. So then it would definitely, you wouldn't see it really on the front. You would have kind of maybe a irregular sort of line on the back here, unless you're like pinned it just perfectly. And depending on how in or close you get to the seam, you know, you're gonna have like a little flap here too. So I'll show you what I mean once I sew this. I am gonna sew this on the back though, just because I don't feel all that confident that I'll be able to do it on the front and catch this edge. But again, I think think you probably won't even be able to tell on the front, just because I think it'll just look like quilting because I'm using this thread color. I'm using the same bobbin color and the thread color, the top thread color. Yeah, I like hand binding too. I thought I'd give this a try tonight. See if I like it because I haven't done it before, but in general, I do like hand binding. We'll probably do that again tomorrow. Okay, let's give this a go. I probably overpinned it. But if it stays together, then we've done our job, right? All right, I'm gonna move. I got a pile of stuff sitting on my machine here. That's gonna get all shushed off. Because now we're getting this in the machine here. Oh gosh, I'm already caught up. Ah, there we go. All right, so I am going to sew down this flap now. We're gonna definitely get my little stiletto out here to help me along. At least to start. Okay, so I am gonna just try and get a little edge. Help it out a little. Okay, let's get these pins out. So as little as an edge as I can get, but I don't know how well I'm gonna do at that. Ugh. I do need some thinner pins. If any of you guys have a good suggestion for nice thin pins, let me know. I would throw away almost all of my other ones because they're all bent. I suppose thin pins bend pretty quickly. But yeah, some really thin pins would be nice. These ones are fine. But it's the same thing like how I like stitching with that size 11 straw needle. That's just thin. It goes through fabric really easily. Oh, I love having this stiletto here, Lisa. It really is like an extra little skinny finger that I can get into places that my fingers can't go. So I really like it. And since it's sharp, it acts like a pin too. Like I can just, it's a little poofy here, so I can just kind of tack it down like that. It's really good. And it's a turkey lacer. Like for Thanksgiving, it's a turkey lacer with some beads glued on it. And I do actually like having a flat bead on. It's nice to hold. All right, this is definitely faster than hand doing it. Especially if you're not a huge fan of hand binding. Yeah, you could get a stitch in the ditch foot. I'm sure there's lots of fancy feet that could make this stitching look a whole lot more invisible than what I'm doing. I don't know all about those fancy feet yet, though. That's something I'm gonna have to spend some time on, just learning what all of the feet do. Oh yes, so Shauna, you made a pile of these recently. Yeah, cheap and easy and fun, and oh my god, I use it all the time. Oh, Nolene says you can use bamboo skewers as well. Oh gosh, I hope I caught that edge at the end here. I may need to backtrack a little bit, but hopefully not. I did get a foot kit, so that's actually where this foot is from, and some of the other feet that I use. So I got one of those kits that has like 50 feet, like a hemmer. I've used the hemmer before. But yeah, I'd love to break that out and just learn what every one is, and I think just label it better than that. Label it with what it actually does, not with the weird names that some of them are given. But yeah, that's going to have to be one of our Finish It Fridays one of these days, I think. Or one of our projects, learning all of the different feet. Okay. Up here. So I'm going to just snip this quick and snip the top, and then we'll take a look at it. Oh, it actually looks pretty clean and nice, although I haven't seen it on the front yet. All right, here it is attached to the back. So you can, you know, obviously tell that it's machine stitched. Like I said, there are probably some foot that, you know, will make this a lot more invisible, but you know, it's not too bad. This is the part where I'm not sure I caught the fabric. Oh, I just did. Okay, good. Whew. Close one. All right, so let's see what it looks like on the front. Okay, so here, you can see it on the front as well. This is where if I knew I had enough of this and I had it flipped and pinned far enough over, then I could have sewn on the front and just stitched in the ditch all the way down. I didn't do that, so you can definitely see the stitching. But, you know, all in all, it is connected, and who cares? We're trying new things and learning new things. So there we are, you guys. I think it just looks like more of the quilting, really. So cool, we are connected. So this is all 5 connected. So I think that is where we're going to end it tonight. We're going to keep it really short. So I'm going to flip this around and show you guys, and then we have 2 left. So these 2 will just be by each other. This will be the start of the next row, and I think we'll probably do the hand binding again just because I kind of really enjoy that. So we will get these 2 together tomorrow, and that will be that on the Quilt As You Go for the time being. I have to rack up a whole pile more blocks. I do have 3. So here are my 3 strays hanging out here. So soon I will be able to do another one, but I'll probably just make a pile of blocks again until I have a whole stack, and then we'll sew them together and kind of do a big batch like what we just now, where we did 4 groups of them. So that was 16 blocks that we had done. All right, I'm gonna flip you around and we'll take a look at it. All right, hello. Let me scoot you back a little farther. Okay, so here we are, you guys. This is going to be the size of the top of the quilt, basically, the width. So I was thinking it was going to be kind of a big lap quilt. It is more towards a queen size quilt, so maybe not quite. Like if I added a little bit of a border on, then we'd have a good queen size. So this is going to be just like a really good couch quilt. Oh, it's so fun that it's quilted already, though. Oh, I can't even show you guys the whole thing at once. Ah, it's coming together a whole big row. Okay, awesome. So we are right now officially a 1/5 of the way done. So we got a lot of sewing to do yet, a lot of blocks to make, but I'm calling it. We're a 1/5 of the way done. So 20%, people. All right. I don't think I'm going to do borders. I may do, gosh, I don't know. You know, I was thinking that I might just do a binding of this color. So you'll get like a little bit, so the front will be framed by just a hair of that yellow. I think that would be awfully cute. That's pending I have enough of this fabric left, because this is it for the fabric. I have a little bit on the bolt, and that'll be that. So awesome, you guys. I will get this up on YouTube at Penguin and Fish Movies if you want to see how we did that machine stitching again. But yeah, I think how we discussed tonight, I think there's maybe a few little better ways to do this machine stitching. And you know what? We could maybe try that tomorrow too, pulling it over a little bit more and sewing from the front. That's not a bad idea. Maybe we'll do that tomorrow, another machine sewing one, and try and improve. This is the first time I've done this with the machine sewing, so I think we can do better. So let's give that a go tomorrow. But all right, you guys, I will catch you later. Hopefully I don't drown in the pool again tomorrow. See you guys. Have a great evening. I'll see you tomorrow.